साथ कुछ ऐसा हंसी सा दिलरुबा जब रातों में. मैं हूं आज विवेक from Qatar's #1 Hindi radio station Radio Olive 106.3 FM, and for this week's off my playlist I have someone very special, and it's also a very special occasion as it's New Year's Eve, and I have with me the person who became India's first Clubhouse global app icon, a singer-songwriter from Mumbai, Anirudh Deshmukh. Welcome.
Hi Vivek, hope you're doing well.
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for being here. It's our pleasure to have you. And my first question, of course, would be, let's start off with getting to know about your music journey. कैसे start हुई थी?
So I'm an architect by profession, and
Okay.
I was doing my 9 to 6 corporate job after getting my degree. And during architecture days, I used to sing. Like, I always loved singing, but it was never kind of an idea to turn it into a profession, to be very honest. And there's this architecture fest we have called NASA, where one of my friends now, she used to organize those events. She was one of the teammates, look in it. Like, why don't you perform with your friends? So that is the first time I got on stage. And the funny part was I still knew how to sing, yet not like taken any formal training. But in my mind, I was like, I can sing, yaar, gaana hi to hai stage pe jaake. But when I got on stage, there were like more than 2,000 people in front of me, all those lights coming at me. And that was a very, you don't contemplate those kind of things. So I blanked out. And I think the worst ever possible interaction with the crowd has to be me. And my bandmates, then who I chose to perform with, they used to perform. So they were so kind of let down. Then I went back to my normal life and all of that. I was working. So these guys, they had an English band and they scored a gig where they were getting some money, I don't know. And they were like, yaar, hum log Hindi band to hai nahi, and we need a Hindi vocalist. So the band will remain the same. Can you just come in, because our vocalist has backed out last minute and we don't really have time to find someone. Tu gaate to rehta hai, tu aaja, zyada kuch hoga nahi. Like, you just please come on board and just sing a few songs. So we did like 1 or 2 jams and I went on stage because I had nothing to lose. And that gig went really well, And I was like, wow, I really enjoy doing this. As a person, I think I realized I can't work for the paycheck. I love the creative aspect of it, but like in the corporate space, it's not exactly, you can just design what you want,
Yeah.
And maybe I'm not a great person to do this. And so I started making cold calls from Zomato. Zomato is a food service here. So they have these filters, you can put in live music. And so any restaurant that has live music, you can kind of figure out from there. So I used to make 10 cold calls, not 9, not 11. It was just a random thing I decided. I'll make 10 calls every day. And I started making calls and 6 out of them did not respond. One said, okay, we'll get back to you, all of that. And someday, somehow, like I was leaving from my work in the evening and I got a call saying, listen, you called saying you want to perform. So, aajao. And I was like, aajao as in, they're like, just come right now. I was like, I cannot come right now. I just left from my work. They're like, see, boss, if you want the show, you'll have to come. So I called my friend who stays like quite far from where we had to go. See, in my mind, I don't know how this works. But because when you see on YouTube and all these artists, in your mind, you're like, oh, wow, I'm going to perform and like proper. I entered the restaurant and there's literally like the DJ music going on, no stage, no mic, nothing. I'm like, where am I supposed to go? He's like, come. So he took us inside the kitchen where, like, the chef and everyone, they were cooking and proper that kadai ka awaaz and everything is happening. And they're like, sit here. I was like, where? There was a gas cylinder kept. He like, sit on this. And I sat there and both of us sat and like, okay, sing something. I was like, sing something. And he's like, obviously did you think I'll just give you the show? I need to know how you guys sound. So I remember I sang 2 songs.
Kitchen mein audition ho raha hai.
Yeah, kitchen mein audition. Thank God, like, he liked my voice and he's like, okay, today is Tuesday, Thursday you have a show. So what had happened was his artist backed out last minute. So there's something with people backing out and
you getting an opportunity.
Yeah, so that's how it started. And after that, I just kept making those calls, trying to do some shows. So now it's called Anirudh Deshmukh Live. Basically, I'm more of an independent singer-songwriter now. And I also have a new team with whom I'm performing.
And now let's get on to the main question. How did this amazing feat of becoming India's first person to be an icon for this immensely famous Clubhouse app happen?
As cliche as it may sound, I have zero clue how it happened, So basically, I joined Clubhouse in Feb just out of curiosity that everyone's talking about this app. Let's see what it's doing. Like, I remember because it was a lockdown, I was just on the app. Like, I remember once I checked my screen time, it was around 130 hours or something in a week.
Wow.
Like, in 7 days. Like that's how much. I guess everyone was just on the app, you know.
Actually,
Yeah. And I remember on May 22nd, I got my first vaccine jab, and by then I had stopped using Clubhouse so often the way I used to, like those 130 hours kind of a thing. Yeah. My current co-host Aina, you know, we came back. We both took the jab together, and I was like, yeah, you know, after the vaccine jab, you're just feeling gloomy, and so like just go to sleep. I was like, no, I think I should just open the room on Clubhouse and sing. Now I already had a club by the name Anirudh. So under that, I just, because it was late in the night and I was feeling blah, so I was like, okay, let's call it the late night jam. So I called it late night jam and started the room and I started singing. Suddenly I'm seeing that, like, you know, around 200, 300, 500 people are coming in the room. And that day we went on kind of jamming till say 5 in the morning Indian time. And this kept happening. And somehow, without any plan, late night jam became a thing. One day, Clubhouse announced that they are doing the creators program, like they had done in US. Now they are doing it for India. So we applied. We applied for the same, and luckily we got selected. So they selected 6 creators in the first batch, and we were one of the 6 to be selected. And my friend was supposed to get married, so he had his bachelor's. For that, we went to Goa. So I told the Clubhouse team that I might not be able to do my rooms on Clubhouse because I'm taking a break. So they were like, okay. And I was in Goa celebrating, and I got a mail from the team saying, there's something we need to discuss with you. It's kind of time sensitive. So can we connect? And to my mind, I was like, did I mess it up or something? Am I losing the creators program that I have? You know, that was my initial thought. So when I spoke to them, they were like, you know, we genuinely love the kind of community you build, the positive space you're holding on the app. And that is something we, as the app, really kind of, you know, support. So we would love for you to be the next icon. So are you okay with that? You know, I went blank, to be honest. And the first stupid thing I asked them was, I'm like, so is this an audition kind of a thing where many people are selected and then you shortlist? Or is it confirmed that I am the icon? Like, no, you're the icon. We want you to be the next icon. So are you okay with it? And I'm like, wow. And I remember, so they obviously have, they told me, you know, like right now, you're not supposed to tell anyone till the announcement happens from our end. I'm like, okay, but can I scream my lungs out if this is confirmed? And they're like, yeah, it is confirmed. So if you confirm from your end, this is confirmed.
Amazing. And of course, your music journey would have been now into a spotlight because of the whole thing of getting into the app icon as well, right? कि आपका music और लोगों तक पहुंचा होगा through this as well, right? Let's move on to this week's Off My Playlist track. It's a soulful number called Rehnuma, जो आपने release किया था मई में ही, like you were mentioning. And it's your second original release, and I just love the vibe of the song. So if you could just take us through the song कि भाई कब लिखा आपने, क्या सोच के लिखा और कैसे ये song पूरा बना है?
So this year I was trying to share a story through few songs, which were like a part of one complete story. It started with Besabriya in December 2020. That was the first time I released my song. Besabriya basically talks about the kind of relationships we have these days, not generalizing, but some of us do, you know, where you meet someone and you're like, let's go with the flow, you know, why give it a name? So in this, basically the first situation, Besabriya, that girl, after some issues between us, goes back to her ex. And I feel very weird because I'm like, oh, then was I your partner? Can I ask something? But I don't know because it's a very gray area, right? After that was supposed to be the now third song, which is I am supposed to release. That was supposed to be the second song. But in my mind, I was like, I want to do an acoustic version of Besabriya, like how you have like a song and then a reprise version comes out. But I was also like, I don't want to just tone down the song into a like just a guitar and piano kind of an acoustic version, but do the same song. So like, how can I do it different? And I was like, if Besabriya was one and now the third song was supposed to be two back then, I was like, let's create a 1.5 what happens between that transition, but also keep some part of Besabriya there. So if you listen to both the songs, Besabriya and Renuma, there's one chorus part which is exactly the same, where it's Hum Jo Bhi The, Jaise Bhi The. Both the songs have that line. So Renuma is basically a callback to that part. So in Besabriya, I'm more like, nahi yaar, she'll come back, you know, she'll miss me. So there's also a little bit of ego in Besabriya. But Rehnuma picks up exactly where Besabriya ends. And it's more of a sinking and feeling that, oh, she's actually not coming back, you know. So before I start moving on from the first song where I'm like a little egoistic and also that, oh, I'm missing her, I'm crying and all of that. This is more of a realization that this is actually happening and she's not coming back.
So if you could just sing a few lines of the song Rehnuma, that'll be great.
जाओगे तुम जहाँ भी मुझ में रहोगे, साथ कुछ ऐसा हंसी सा दिलरुबा जब रातों में यादों को कसे मुस्कुराओगे, दर्द मेरा ही तुमने होगा ना छिपा, हम जो भी थे जैसे भी थे पास थे और साथ थे, फिर क्यों भीगा दामन यादों भरा, हम जो भी थे जैसे भी थे पास थे और साथ थे, फिर क्यों जुदा हुए ऐसे हम, क्या पता।
ब्यूटीफुल ब्यूटीफुल एब्सोल्युटली अमेजिंग। थैंक यू सो मच अनिरुद्ध, आपसे बात करके बहुत ही मजा आया और बहुत ही खुशी है कि भाई इंडिया के आप पहले इंसान बने जो क्लब हाउस के ऐप का आइकन बने, एंड ऑल्सो दिस सॉन्ग हैज टर्न्ड आउट टू बी अमेजिंग एज वेल। बट it was lovely having you right here on Qatar's number one Hindi radio station, Radio Olive.
Thank you, Vivek, and thank you for this lovely interview. And thank you so much. You're amazing, man. This was a very fun and kind of comfortable chat. I was like, oh, this is more like talking to a friend. So thank you so much.
My
Thank you
pleasure,
so
my
much.
pleasure. Thank you so much.